afternoon, everyone. Thank you for taking the time to come in today. As you know, this is a live broadcast. The public is watching this. So let's get started. What is the issue or growing concern as to why we are seeing re-emerging vaccine-preventable communicable diseases?
Have you heard the saying, it's always better to prevent a disease than to treat it after it occurs? Immunity plays a vital role in fighting off infections. When a child is born, their immune system is weak, but as they grow and interact with other kids, they come into contact with germs, and these germs enter the bodies as foreign pathogens, which are capable of causing a disease. These pathogens are called antigens, and they produce proteins called antibodies that would fight them off. If a child in the long run is exposed to this antigen again, the immune system remembers that antigen and the body will produce antibodies fast enough to keep it from causing a disease the second time around. However, instead of falling sick by measles or chickenpox, there is a way to prevent this from occurring through vaccines. Vaccines contain the same antigen that would cause the disease, but the strain is either killed or weakened. So to answer the question, why are we seeing these re-emerging vaccine-preventable communicable disease, is due to children not being vaccinated.
So where can we see these re-emerging communicable diseases?
A good example is poliomyelitis, also commonly known as polio. It is a viral disease that's life-threatening. It disables an individual by infecting their spinal cord, which leads to paralysis. This particular contagious disease is caused by poliovirus, and it's a direct transmission from person to person. This transmission occurs through contact with feces of an infected person or through droplets of an infected person. Polio enters through the mouth and spreads throughout. This can be seen in 3 countries such as Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Nigeria. However, recently this disease has re-emerged in the Philippines. Philippines declared polio-free 19 years ago, and recently in 2019, they confirmed that this disease was re-emerging in the country. Due to low immunization coverage, the best possible way that the local government units are doing so far for this polio outbreak is to increase awareness to the public to practice good personal hygiene, wash their hands regularly, use toilets, drink safe water, and cook food thoroughly.
So as we can see, polio is a major concern for this topic today. So what are we doing globally about this issue?
What's being done globally is through a public-private organization led by 5 partners. They came up with a program called the Global Polio Eradication Initiative, where their goal is to eradicate polio worldwide. How this is done is through surveillance. Surveillance is a way to understand where and how the virus is spreading and to also identify potential new cases. Moving ahead is routine immunization. That is to ensure that 80% of children in their first year of life are vaccinated with at least 3 doses of the oral polio as part of the national routine immunization schedules. Although routine immunization doesn't eradicate the disease, it does help increase population immunity that can reduce the incidence of polio. Within routine immunization is another surveillance used called supplementary immunization. This is through the use of 2 mass immunization campaigns, national immunization days or supplementary immunization activities. Here, the goal for this is to catch children who are either not immunized or only partially protected and to boost immunity in those who have been immunized. The last surveillance part of this initiative is targeted by mop-up campaigns. These are where public health workers go door to door and immunize children in specific areas where the virus is known or suspected to still be circulating.
Is polio still seen in Canada, or has it been eradicated completely in Canada?
In terms of polio in Canada, the incidence has been reduced due to immunization programs that were introduced in the 1950s. The last case seen was in 1994, where the World Health Organization certified that Canada was free from the wild polio virus.
That's good. However, what are some precautionary measures we can take in order to be prepared for such re-emerging diseases?
According to Canadian Health Policy, they focused on a few recommendations to improve immunization uptake. I'll just provide a few examples of what actions are being taken. The first recommendation is to have an electronic database where healthcare providers can easily look up the child's records to ensure if they are up to date with their immunizations. This would help both in improving data collection, yet also helping with tracking to ensure that the child has received their inoculations. The second recommendation is solely based on the clinic and health center hours. Partly the reason why working parents are unable to vaccinate their child could possibly be due to the clinic hours. What happens is the parents have to book an appointment to bring their child in to get vaccinated, and of course, with working parents, this can be hard since the hours might not match the convenience for when the parents can bring their child in. What's recommended is that within the clinic, they should implement one walk-in clinic offering immunizations on certain days without an appointment. This way, it's easier for the working parent to work around their schedule to ensure that their child can get vaccinated. So these are some of the recommendations that Canada has implemented and is also working towards implementing more.
Why do vaccine-preventable diseases still persist, and what is the global impact?
Immunization is one of the most cost-effective ways to save lives, improve health, and ensure long-term prosperity. Vaccination can result in saving to the health budget. The yearly global return to vaccination investment is estimated at 12% to 18%. For example, from 1947 to 2007, the value to society of NHS immunization program was €6.6 billion per year in the UK. Vaccination has economic and social benefits beyond the prevention of specific disease. By promoting good health in children, vaccination helps to increase cognitive skills, physical strength, and performance at school. Vaccination can help reduce the risk of catching infectious disease when traveling. Costs associated with failure to effectively immunize include loss of working days, expenditure on disability payments, and social services. But not vaccinating and allowing these vaccine-preventable diseases to exist, we lose out on all the social economic benefits we can have, and instead increase the social and economic burden that results.
Finally, what is the social and economic impact?
The issue persists because vaccination risks have been misinterpreted and exaggerated over the years. One of the key causes is non-scientific information spreading through social media, which have led some members of the community to strongly believe that vaccinations have caused a variety of negative outcomes, including autism, neurological condition, attention deficit hypersensitivity disorder, and speech or language delay. It also does not help when celebrities, advocacy groups, and organizations such as Jenny McCarthy, her advocacy group Generation Rescue, and the organization Talk About Curing Autism have spearheaded these anti-vaccine efforts. This fear has caused many families to refrain from vaccinating their kids, causing the disease to persist and spread. The global impact on this issue is huge, as individuals are not vaccinating themselves against vaccine-preventable diseases. Often, this issue is seen in high-income countries like United Kingdom, North America, and especially in the United States of America.
And that's all the time that we have for today. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope you learned something about vaccine-preventable diseases. We'll see you next time. Stay vaccinated.